This episode of the School of Life podcast is brought to you by the School of Life Academy, an online platform providing millennials with the tools and resources needed to survive adulthood. From understanding stocks to building a business, writing the perfect resume, and even healing your childhood trauma, SOLA has you covered. Start your 7-day free trial today at www.schooloflifeacademy.com.
Wow, Sinatra.
Another day, another dollar. I'm saving just to be broke. They said college was serious, but my degree feel like a joke. 4 years or less, I'm saying I got it done. No plan, just to end up at my mom's after I told her I wasn't staying. Well, here we are. No question, I'm a star. Just got some light years to travel, but it's just so far. But I'ma make it though. Make sure you get your focus right. You coming too? It's about to be one hell of a ride. Yeah, this adults and stuff is crazy. They ain't warned us about this. I'm supposed to live my best life on an unpaid internship. How I'm supposed to find my husband? Everybody running game. I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same. Went from worrying about on flow to running from Uncle Sam. Now I understand why student accounts never gave a damn. Saving accounts be slipping, trying to work out, but I'm tripping. I forgot health insurance. Oh, I'm my mom's until I'm 26, so I gotta pay these student loans. That's adults with the score doing the most. That's adulting. Moving out of mom's house. That's adulting, but it's all gonna work out. That's adulting. I need a legal side hustle. That's adulting, cause these bills got me in trouble. That's adulting. Journey's course is never planned. That's adulting. So just leave it in God's hands, cause that's adulting.
Hey friends, welcome back to another fabulous episode of the School of Life podcast. Let me just say, your girl has been consistent and I am loving it. I said I was coming back strong in season 3 and here I am. So give me a few little claps if you've been rocking with me because y'all know I took a little hiatus, but I'm back and I am better. Shout out to all of you, though, for showing me love and rocking with me through the ups and the downs. I cannot say enough how good it feels to just be back in the swing of things and bringing you weekly content to help navigate these ghetto adulting streets. Look, I hope you've been doing well and getting your life as together as possible. And listen, if you haven't, it's okay, boo. Do what you can and know that that's enough. Look, that was my testimony a few weeks ago. All I could do was what I could, okay? There was not more I could give anybody else because that is all I have. Y'all know I get on here and talk my truth because that's all I can give to this world. But your girl was going through it. I really, really was. The good thing, though, is that I didn't give up. And so out of all of that, I just want to encourage you, whatever you may be going through, if you are not okay, don't give up. Like, don't even do that. Anyways, enough of my little soapbox. I just wanted to remind you that you are not alone in whatever you're dealing with. We are all trying to figure this ghetto thing out together. So today we're talking about something that feels so adult-like. Dun, dun, dun. Y'all like my little dramatic music right there? We're diving into the complexities of healthcare. Now, I know this is a little different than some of the stuff I usually talk about, but I thought it was important to discuss because, one, I've been wanting to do this episode for a while, but clearly there were more pressing matters in my life. But two, I turned 26 this year, and you know, at the age of 26 now, you get kicked off your parents' insurance. And I don't want to say kicked off, but essentially you get kicked off. But before I dive into like why you get kicked off and all of that, y'all know what to do. Grab your notebook, your tablet, your pen, whatever you need, because I promise you're going to need it this week. If you don't need it no other weeks, you're going to need it this week. So go pause me, grab your notebook, your note-taking tool, whatever, because School of Life is now in session. Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but I've really been on my own for real since 18, and I've been paying for my own health insurance since like 21. Now, some of y'all might be fortunate enough to still be carried on your parents' insurance until the age of 26, but me and my parents' child are a different story. And if you do around these parts, Go back and listen to like episode, I think it was 18, because you will hear all about it. But listen, your girl has been out here paying Blue Cross Blue Shield, Kaiser, Ambetter, and whoever else was going to cover me since the age of 21. So anyway, since I turned 26 this year, and I know most of my followers are like around my age, I knew it was definitely fitting to just share more about healthcare so that if you are nearing 26 or if you are already 26 and you had questions, you know, this is a place where we can just dive in and get a better understanding. So let's dive in. First and foremost, most full-time jobs will offer you health benefits. Now, what that specifically entails really depends on the job. So you'll want to take your time and read through your benefits packet that you get at the beginning of a new job. And if your job doesn't offer health coverage or you are an entrepreneur, there are options that I'll discuss later on in the show. So essentially, when you have a 9-to-5, what happens is your job purchases a group insurance plan with the company. And for the sake of this episode, we're going to say they purchased it with Blue Cross Blue Shield, right? So they cut a little deal with Blue Cross on the covered services that you'll get in exchange for a monthly premium of X amount of dollars and a set deductible. Now, keywords out there for my people taking notes: premium and deductible. When you hear premium, that simply means the amount you are paying out of pocket each month that will automatically come out of your paycheck. And a deductible is the amount of money you will have to pay for certain services each year before your insurance company actually begins to pay. I know that was a lot, so let me break it down. If your insurance plan has a $1,000 deductible, you will have to pay the first $1,000 of your covered services before your insurance truly kicks in. And I know, y'all, that sounds real scammy. Like, I'm paying y'all every month. Just pay 100% of whatever it is I need done. But look, I don't make the rules out here. Taking it a step further, kind of using some real life examples. Let's say you go to the doctor and a cancer screening is $500 and a pap smear is $500. You will have to pay the total, so that $500 out of pocket for both doctor's visits because your deductible is $1,000. Your insurance is not covering anything about that visit until you've met that $1,000. Now, after you meet your deductible, your insurance will begin to pay for your covered services, but only up to a certain percentage. Y'all, scammy, I know, but your girl don't make the rules. Sometimes, though, that percentage is around 80%, depending on your carrier. I know for all of the insurance I have ever had, it's been 80%. I've never gotten lucky and got like 90%. And thank God it wasn't less than that. So let's say we're using that same example. Let's say you meet your deductible and you need another cancer screening, right? Because this is a covered service, the insurance will now pay 80% of the cost and you will pay the 20%, meaning your new cancer screening bill is $100 versus the $500. But remember, that's only after the deductible is met. Here's another thing with insurance that I had to learn kind of from just doing my own research and being out here in this world. But plans with higher deductibles usually have lower monthly premiums and vice versa. So this is so important because when you pick your insurance plan, you will see a lot of numbers that will feel like overwhelming and confusing. Like, when you get that new packet of benefit information, you just like, child, this is way too much. But you really want to take some time to read and pay attention to what is being said, in the packet. Really look at how much your premium and deductible will be in comparison to the covered services. Now, I'm going to keep it real with y'all because y'all know that's all I can do in this lifetime. But most times, a better quality of care, comes with a higher premium. And that's because you're most likely seeing doctors who are, I don't want to say more experienced because that's not the case. That sounds bad. But you are seeing doctors who may have access to more technology in their offices. They may be more advanced. They may see clients who make a certain amount of money. And that sounds really discriminatory, but that's just the truth of the matter. So like doctors who take Medicaid are sometimes, seen as government doctors. And that is no knock. If you're a doctor out there, I am not knocking you or shading you at all. But just for the purposes, of educating people out there in the adulting space, if you are paying a higher premium, honestly, you probably are receiving a higher quality of care. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Like, don't shoot the messenger. Another thing with insurance is really understanding how to read your covered services, right? So you need to really know what you're getting for your money. So if you're a fairly healthy person, you might not need a ton of coverage, which could save you money. So again, reading what are the covered services and what are the premiums and deductibles for said services. However, if you have underlying health issues, you might need more coverage and essentially be paying a higher premium. So back to my example about, the quality of care. If you have a lot of underlying health issues, you probably will see more specialists, you will probably have more doctor's visits, and you will want that higher quality of care. I'm not even gonna lie, true story. When I was not making a whole bunch of money in one of my first jobs, I had a low premium, honey, and I was seeing the doctor that took Medicaid, Medicare. I didn't care what she was taking. Are you a doctor? Can you make sure I'm not sick? Because I didn't care. Like, I just knew, like, it's a doctor. I wasn't that picky. And I'm not saying now that I make more money, I wouldn't go back to that doctor. But I have noticed there is a difference, in the doctors that I do see, even the doctor's offices and where they're located and stuff like that. So all of that plays a part into understanding how much you're paying, what you're paying, and why you're paying it. So when you start a new job, I've mentioned this before, they give you this huge packet of insurance information and it just feels so overwhelming. But the key here, y'all, is just read about your insurance before you make any decisions. So for example, I get migraines really, really bad. So if you get migraines, you want to know how much it's going to cost to see a specialist. I promise every insurance booklet you're going to get from a job, it has a list of covered services, and you want to not just skim it, friend. You want to actually read it. So like using my migraines, that's very important to me. Like, I know I have to see a specialist no matter what state I'm living in or what insurance I have. So if I read and it says that seeing a specialist, they'll cover 80%, that's great. If I read and I say, and it says, seeing a specialist, they only cover 50%, that's not so great. And so I may want to, seek out seeing a specialist on my own just to see if I'll save money. So there's ways like around it, but I won't get into all of that. The key here though is to just know your body and spend time reading, because you want to be sure that when you go to the doctor, like, you can actually get seen for what you need to get seen for. So taking it a little bit of a step further, after understanding, what exactly is covered, you also want to know what percentage of co-insurance you'll have to pay after the deductible is met. I know I keep saying, for example, a lot, but examples are important today. But after you've met the deductible, you might end up having to pay 20% co-insurance, and this is also known as a copay, while the insurance company pays the remaining 80%. So I kind of mentioned this a few minutes ago when we talked about the cancer screening. So boom, another quick example, sticking with my migraines. If a certain migraine visit is $200, I'll pay $40 and the insurance company will pay $160 because they have agreed that they will pay 80%, of the covered services after the deductible is met. I know, a mouthful. But another term that I think is important to know when talking about insurance and just really understanding what that looks like for you as a person paying for yourself is max out of pocket. So you'll see this on most insurance documents, especially anything with a lot of numbers on it. But this simply means the total amount you could spend on health insurance in a year, including your copays, deductibles, and co-insurance. Essentially, it's like a budget. The insurance company is just saying, hey, this is the total amount you would ever spend in the year 2021, no matter what happens to you. So I've personally never gone over my max out-of-pocket total, but I'm sure the insurance companies will let you know if you start to get close to that max out-of-pocket. If you are a single person and it's just you're not paying on a family insurance plan, I don't think you would go over that max, if you're fairly healthy. But again, the insurance company will probably send you an email letting you know, hey sis, you're reaching your max out-of-pocket. Almost lastly, I have one more point after this. There's a such thing called in-network and out-of-network. Simply put, in-network means it's in the family. When you see this, it's referring to the services your insurance will cover when you keep it in the family and go to doctors that are basically in the family. Out of network is just the complete opposite. And honestly, 9 times out of 10, insurance will charge you more for going to doctors who are out of network. I don't really know like the inner workings of in-network versus out of network, but essentially like doctors who are in your insurance's network have an agreement to accept your insurance. That's basically what it is. Doctors who are out of network, they have not communicated with Blue Cross to say, hey, yes, we'll accept Blue Cross. And you may end up having to pay more if you go to a doctor who is out of network. But again, that is all outlined in your benefits packet. And now insurance is so technologically advanced, you can go online and even search for doctors who are in your network. You can see if they're black, white, Hispanic, yellow, green, whatever color you want them to be. You can see that, you can read about them, and it'll let you know if they're in network or out of network. Now, the last thing I want to touch on is how to get insurance if you're over 26, your parents can't have you on theirs, your job doesn't offer it, or you're an entrepreneur. So essentially, it's pretty simple because it's pretty much the same thing I just explained. However, instead of getting the insurance through your job, you're going to want to go to healthcare.gov, and I'll tag that in the show notes. It's www.healthcare.gov. And you're going to plug in some basic information about yourself, and it'll match you with providers and with insurance plans that fit your budget and your lifestyle and just where you are health-wise. So the same information I just shared will apply to you. Again, the difference is just instead of a job, cutting that deal with Blue Cross, it'll be the government cutting that deal and paying a portion on your behalf. So everybody say thank you, Obamacare, because that is a big benefit of that. Woo, child. I know that was a lot. I feel like I just talked really, really fast too. But I hope you were following and have just like a better understanding of how insurance works. If anything was confusing, look, just rewind me, run it back, spin the block on the episode real quick, because this is information that is very useful. Like no one taught me this. I just spent a lot of time reading. I started working a full-time job at the age of 20, so I really had to educate myself on, what it is I was signing up to pay for and things like that. So the most important thing you can do when it comes to this topic is just read and educate yourself. Like Google what you don't know. Don't be afraid to ask your employer clarifying questions, and just educate yourself as much as possible, because if your parents don't know, or if you don't have parents, then you have to be the one to be sure that you are well equipped to make good decisions for yourself, especially when it comes to your health and when it comes to what you're paying for, because this will come out of your check every 2 weeks or every month, however you set it up, whether you like it or not. So that's how I learned. I promise I just sat down, read, and educated myself, because I don't play by my coin, okay? I play about a lot of things, but your girl does not play about her coin. I promise I did not come into this world knowing all of this. Anyways, I think I am done running my soup coolers for the day. But before we get out of here, y'all already know you're going to have some homework. So this week, I challenge you to learn more about your insurance coverage. That's it. Whatever that looks like, go do it. Like, put it on your to-do list right now. Go learn about your insurance coverage. Go read, go ask a question, go get clarity. If you don't have insurance, read about it. Just find a way to educate yourself, because the last thing you want to do is be out here just naked in the world without insurance, because literally anything can happen. If you do that, I will be so, so proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself. All right, y'all. That wraps up another episode of the School of Life podcast. I don't don't know why it feels so quick, but we in and out of here today. But as promised, we're going to get through this adulting thing together, one episode at a time. Be sure to check out the School of Life Academy at www.schooloflifeacademy.com and follow us on Instagram at the School of Life Academy. Lastly, be sure you follow your girl at _Miss Jaye, and I will tag all of that in the show notes for you. As always, y'all, I hope you learned something new or gained some kind of insight, because that's why this podcast exists. Listen, we're all in this together. Keep fighting, keep pushing, keep evolving. Talk to you soon.
I gotta pay these student loans. That's adulting. With the score doing the most. That's adulting. Moving out of mom's house. That's adulting. But it's all gonna work out. That's adulting. I need a legal side hustle. That's adulting. 'Cause these bills got me in trouble.